Ah. Oh. All right, I think we're live. All right, hold on. Boom. All right. Welcome everybody to the 6 p.m. SUF Live. We have Kate the Great. Oh, Catherine. Yes. And Joe is on here. So everybody tuning in to the Facebook Live. What this is, what you're watching right now, this is our Straight Up Fitness live coaching session. We always do that every Tuesday at 6 p.m. And people that are in my coaching program, they can join in and ask me questions, and you can watch the replay. And also, if you're watching on Facebook, you can go post a question in the comments. Even if you're watching the replay, post a question in there in the comment box, because then I'll get a notification and I can answer it. Not live, of course, but I can answer it through the text. So with that said, I know we have some more people coming, but Joe or Catherine, do you guys have any questions? Anything you want to bring up? Wins, questions, obstacles?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I'm driving. No, I just wanted to talk about how your body reacts to getting back into the gym after not being active for a couple years, right? So talking about what happened to me. So it's a slow recovery, but I'm able to stay active with the stretches that you recommended and the light workout. So that has really helped a lot. I don't know if there's anybody else out there that's experiencing the same thing. You know.
Yeah, coming back after, because you were out for how many years?
2 years.
And during those 2 years, what kind of exercise were you doing?
I wasn't doing any exercises. You know, it's like a lot of people that their lives got affected because of COVID. My life was just put on pause, and I was busy with work and I was busy at home and I had no time to work out. So
the thing is, like, if depending on what continent you're at, if you ask somebody in Europe, like, are you exercising? And they'll say no, but then they still walk to get bread and they bicycle to the grocery store. But in America, you know, you ask somebody, are you working out, exercising? And they say no. And like, you know, it's very easy to just sit in your chair. Like for me right here, I do most of my work in front of my computer. So there's different levels of inactivity. But so for you, was it like just not even steps, not even walking?
not even steps to the printer at work.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. So I think first off, everybody watching this too in the replay or live, it's important to realize that your body was designed to move. All your blood vessels and your muscles and your nerves and your skin and everything and your joints, they're designed to have movement, because when you move, your blood your heart rate goes up, you get more circulation, and that's how you stay alive. And Tony Robbins says, life supports which gives life. But you have to give your body life through exercise. And if you do not exercise at all, meaning like you're sitting down, which a lot of people during COVID, they got stuck at home and they didn't know, or, you know, new routine, they didn't really know how to cope with it. And then you're sitting down all day, you're basically dying a very, very, very slow death. That's what it is. So coming back to after inactivity of 2 years of doing absolutely nothing, this goes for everybody. Coming back to any type of workout program after being inactive, always focus on your core first. And your core is anything below your rib cage and your butt, basically. Anything from your butt all the way up towards your rib cage. That's the center point of your body. So like what I told Joe, you know, do planks, do side planks, and focus on your mobility. But with that said, coming back to the gym, to answer your long-winded answer to Joe's question, coming back to the gym after being inactive for years, all you need to do, and I'm trying to answer this so everybody can understand it, look at where you are at, and then you want to always stay or max out. Everybody keeps joining this call. Max out at 90% of your max effort, especially if you're lifting weight. So the key to getting stronger, if you look at the guys that are super strong and lift massive amounts of weight, they don't exert themselves 100% all the time. They actually only go to 80%, maybe 90%. But if you really want to get stronger and build muscle and stay fresh and improve your recovery big time, you want to go to 80, 90% of your max effort. Meaning, whatever exercise you do, let's say you're lifting weight, because that's what we do. You go in and you do a barbell back squat. You should always have a couple reps left in the tank. So when I work out and it's 5 sets of 5 or whatever, I'll do my first set of 5, boom, feeling good. I could have done like 10 more, but that's fine because I still got 4 sets to go. Then I time myself and do the second set. And then by like the 4th or 5th set, I should still feel like I could have done like 1 or 2 more reps. And that right there is the secret to really, building proper strength, never getting injured, but also longevity. It's all about longevity, especially after you turn 30, 35, that's when everything starts hurting. But Joe, does that kind of answer your question or?
Yes, it does.
Yeah. So, and this goes for everybody, guys. Longevity is everything. And we have some young people on this Zoom call. Actually, I'm surprised how many people joined. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And the 8th person is joining right now. Jay Flores. I don't even know who that is. Oh, Jennifer Flores. Hi. We have some people that are under 35, but most of you guys are over 30. And you always want to, how if you're 20, you want to think like you're 30. If you're 30, you want to think like you're 40. You always want to be the most mature person in the room. The same thing applies for your fitness. You want to train like you're 40. You want to train like you're 50. Because every single time, like when I train guys that are 40, 50, they're always super smart because they know what their body can do. But when you're in your 20s, you just do whatever because your recovery is still on point, but you're not really being smart. Anyway, I'm going to get to the next question right now. I'm going to end this right here. I'm really passionate about this because longevity is everything. Here's what I want everybody to know. And I don't want to make the Zoom call too long like I always do, but it's better to have 2 really, really awesome sessions per week where you just were in the flow, you were in the zone, you were lifting weight, perfect form, you were going, like you had a finisher of like 100 jump squats and you just went for it. And like after that workout, you're just laying on the floor like, whoa, what just happened? It's better to have 2 of those per week than to force yourself 4 times a week. And then on the 3rd or 4th workout, feel like you need extra pre-workout to go. And the American mentality is, no, grind, keep going. Pain is weakness leaving the body. Not really. You got to listen to your body sometimes. But I got to be careful with what I say because so many people are so lazy that they'll take those words and they'll be like, oh, okay, and they'll just end up at Porto's or whatever. So with that said, that was Joe's question. Who else has a question? I don't really have an order. Actually, let's do this. In the chat, put a 1 if you have a question. Or you can also raise your hand, by the way, if you want to raise your hand. Yeah, to see your hand. Boop, 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 boop. So nobody has a question? Nobody has anything? Because if nobody has a question, okay, let's do this. If you have a question, post a 1 in the chat. But I'll give you guys like 5 minutes to think about that. In the meantime, I want to give you just one little nugget that I got from this book that I'm reading. It's actually this right here. It's a Daily Stoic. It's I highly recommend everybody get this. Not sure if you can see it. The Daily Stoic. It's actually not really a regular book. It's one quote per day, but it's like an ancient quote from Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, Seneca, like the originators of mindset. And what it is this one quote per day, and then it's explained in modern language every single day. But I want to talk about being in a rut. So if you want to live an amazing life, meaning getting the most out of your workouts, getting the most out of your nutrition, just getting the most out of your relationships, and just being your best self, you never want to be in a rut. Now, let me backtrack, actually. If you look at investors, smart investors focus more on minimizing their downside than they focus on maximizing their upside. What I mean is, if they see an investment opportunity, the first thing they look at, they ask themselves is, am I going to lose money on this? So if they have an opportunity and it's all shiny object, it looks amazing, and it looks like they can make a lot of money, but they can also lose a lot of money, most smart investors will never go into that, because they always want to minimize their downside. The same thing applies for you in life. It's very important, it's crucial that you minimize the time that you're stuck in ruts. And there is a whole billion-dollar industry around people being in ruts. We got prescription medication, we got, Xanax, we got antidepressants, we have life coaches, we have people like me, and we have everybody talking to people like, hey, you can do it, motivational industry and all that. But if you want to avoid all that and you want to be self-reliant and self-assertive, then it's very important that you stay out of ruts. Now, when are you in a rut? Technically, you're in a rut if you are at less than 90% of your capacity, of your current capacity. That doesn't mean like your potential, but your current capacity, if you're at 90% or less. So how do you know when you're in a rut? When you have negative thoughts, when you're not performing well, when your recovery is not on point, when you're not sleeping well. But honestly, really like negative thoughts, that's when you know you're in a rut. Because if you have all the money in the world and you have the best relationships and you're on point and you're just doing everything right, why would you be grumpy? And it's, unless your hormones are all messed up, but usually it's you're in a rut. There's three things you can do to get out of a rut. First off, you are what you do every day. And that's just, you are what you do every day. That's why most fitness programs that are being advertised to you, lose 30 pounds with this method, lose 20 pounds by doing this, blah, 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 blah. It's really what you do every day. If you're overweight, then you got to start doing something every day, and then eventually the weight will come off by means of your new lifestyle. That's how you get results. But the way if you find yourself in a rut, first off, you have to be very honest with yourself, because most people that are in ruts or even depressed, they will never admit to it, because it's kind of a sign of weakness, especially here in America, where we're the greatest. We're the greatest country in the world. If you break your shin bone, you just stand back up, pop that shin back in place, and you just go fight them Russians out there. So you got to be honest with yourself and admit that if you're depressed, you're depressed. If you're in a rut, you're in a rut. And that takes a lot of humility, and it takes a lot of reflection. And once you realize that, here are three ways to get out of it. Number one is physiology. Physiology is really just exercise, drinking water, getting sleep, and just taking care of your body. Now, I know that sounds super simple, but what's the easiest way to work on your physiology? The easiest way, you're probably thinking it's food. It's not food. It's actually just literally, I can't point my camera, but just going outside, going for walks, especially if you're in Southern California. It is the instant way to get vitamin D. Your vitamin D is going to hit your sun. It's going to put you in a good mood. You're going to get steps in. It's going to increase your circulation. It's going to make you think differently. And honestly, like I don't know any studies that confirm this, and these are just my words. But going for walks removes the fat from your brain. That's the way I feel, at least. Because when I wasn't walking and I was eating spaghetti every Saturday, like a couple of years ago, if you go to my YouTube channel from a couple of years ago, you'll see me like puffy face. And then I started walking. I felt like, damn, I think so much more clear now. I'm just like way more on top of things. I'm in a way better mood. Like if I'm at a stoplight and the light turns green and the car doesn't go, I'm not like, ah. I'm like, oh, well, they probably didn't see that the light was green, or, but physiology is first. So take care of that. Now that's the most basic one. I mean, I cannot imagine anybody has any questions on that. So the next thing is necessity. Necessity is really asking yourself why it is you do what you do. Now, here's the thing. If somebody were to ask you why you do what you do and you don't have the answer within 2 seconds, then you need to work on that. So what you do for a living, what you do in your relationships, what you do, why you eat the way you eat, why you drink the water you drink, why you, have your hobbies. Like if you have to think about why it is you're doing what you're doing, then you're not aligned with it. So necessity is the reason why you're doing it, what you're doing. The third thing is the biggest one, and that's inspiration. So what you put into your head is what you put out. So whatever you read, whatever you surround yourself with, that is what's going to come out of your mouth, but also your behavior, your demeanor, your just your overall aura, your posture. Like literally, this versus this can make a difference versus somebody actually paying attention to this versus this. So it's all minor things, and they all come together in a compound effect in a holistic manner. And especially for everybody watching this video or this Zoom call, the number one thing when it comes to your inspiration, I can tell you all I want about reading books, but I found that, people that are self-motivated to read books, they'll do it. But the number one crutch, with all due respect, and I don't mean this in any derogatory way, but especially in low income areas, is their environment. And actually, you know what? It's everywhere. But if you're in a negative environment, it takes a massive willpower and discipline and resilience to stand up from that and show everybody that you are on your own path and that you're on a path of positivity and that you always see the glass half full. But if you portray those traits long enough, then the negative people will weed themselves out, or they'll start getting positive. So if you step into a room full of negative people and you're that positive person, instantly by you being positive, you're making all the negative people feel stupid. And then they're going to throw rocks at you and all that. But that's just because they're upset because they're negative. So anyway, physiology, necessity, and inspiration, what you put into your head. So with that little speech, I killed some time, and I only have one person that wants to ask a question. I kept talking, and I was like, damn, nobody wants to. All right, so Catherine, you have any questions? Oh, you have a question? Oh, no, wait, sorry. Christine. Oh, yeah, Kate the Great. No, wait,
that was my daughter's username. I didn't know that she was using my Zoom. I didn't know that was my name.
Sorry, I saw Kate the Great. I was like, wait, who is that?
No, that's me. It was my daughter. She was using my profile, and she always renames it. So just a couple of things. I'm in your SLTP program. At what point do we stop doing the intermittent fasting? Or do we just do that is that going to be a lifestyle?
Do you like it?
I kind of do.
Yeah. It's really, you can do it forever if you want. A lot of, you don't, the way I have it in my program is we do it all the way for the whole 12 weeks.
Oh, okay.
Here's what you should know about intermittent fasting. Everybody intermittent fasts. You fast automatically by sleeping. But what we do is, so we prolong that first meal in the beginning of your day, because for the SLTP, for the Strong Life Transformation Program, it is about fat loss. It's about getting lean. So if fat loss is your goal, then you want to fast longer than it is like the amount of hours that you sleep. Because by fasting, you're replenishing your liver enzymes, you're repairing your metabolism, you're doing a lot of good things. You're actually doing a lot of regenerative, your body's healing itself from the inside out. But really what's more important is that by fasting, you are increasing your cortisol, which is a stress hormone that kills muscle, but it also burns fat. 1, 2 is that you're improving your insulin sensitivity. So I don't want to make this too complicated, but by the act of fasting, it really helps with your fat loss, because it forces you to use fat for fuel in the morning or when you're fasting. And it also increases your body's ability to handle carbs or handle sugars or handle energy in general. And that's your insulin sensitivity. So really, intermittent fasting, you could do it forever. Now, let's say you get to your goal weight. Let's say your goal weight is 130 and you get really lean and you feel like, yeah, I'm good. And then if you ever feel like you don't have enough energy or you want to start doing like some really intense exercise, then I would recommend, yeah, definitely start eating earlier, introduce breakfast again. There's nothing wrong with it, really. But the fasting just has a lot of benefits attached to it. And it's more socially acceptable because when do most people go out to eat is at night, right? So if you fast in the morning, you're saving calories for at night. It gives you more opportunity to eat big at night. But so that's why.
Can I I know I've been doing it, like 7 days a week. Can I do like maybe take a break on like, let's just say I want to go out with my family for breakfast on Sunday? Like, is that possible? Would it hurt to do that?
That's a great question. No, yeah, absolutely. You can totally do that. In the end of the day, it's calories in versus calories out. And okay. Let's say you go to breakfast at 7 a.m. super early. Like, where you have a favorite breakfast place?
Gosh, it's in Seal Beach. I forgot the name.
As long as it's not IHOP.
It's really good.
So,
no, not IHOP.
So,
Cafe Crema.
Huh?
Crema Cafe. That's what the place is.
Oh yeah, I think I've heard of it. Well, let's say you have a big breakfast, at 7 a.m., right? And on one day you have your first meal at 7 a.m. and you have your like a dessert at 9 p.m. Technically it doesn't matter. It's what you do every day that matters. So if you do that one day, but you still stay within your calories, technically you didn't do anything wrong. However, if you were to do that every day, eating at, let's say 7 a.m. and then eating your last meal all the way at 10 p.m., then you're not giving your digestive system enough of a break. And in the end, it's just you're wearing your digestive system out. It can work. It's good. But I'm a big fan of the autophagy that happens when you fast. Basically, when you don't eat, your body starts healing itself from the inside out. And that's called autophagy. So it's just a benefit to have. But let's say you go out to eat or you eat like a nice breakfast. Yeah, totally. To go do that. Just make sure you stay within your calories. You're all good.
Cool,
and and then also Joe asked in the chat, can I get the same results with a 13-hour fast as with a 16-hour? It's a great question. Yes, it's all about calories in versus calories out. Now, the difference though between a 13-hour fast and a 16-hour fast is one. Like, here's how it really works. If you fast for 24 hours, actually, and to put it really short, the longer you fast, the more your body will heal itself from the inside out. Now, of course, you're not going to fast every day for 24 hours because then you'll never eat, right? So that's why the longer you fast, the more healing properties you have. But at the same time, like for me, if I want to eat 3,000 calories and I fast for, 16 hours, that means I only have 8 hours to eat 3,000 calories. I mean, I can do it, but still, you got to make sure you plan that, because then if let's say you have a 16-hour fast and you forget or whatever, or something comes in along the way, and then it's like it turns into a 20-hour fast and you got 4 hours to get all your calories in. You just got to make sure you're able to get all your calories in. Really, that's it. So it makes it easier to stay on a caloric deficit, because if you get through that fast, then you can eat. And then, it's easy to not overeat that way. It's a creative way of cutting calories. That's what intermittent fasting is. So don't overthink it, guys. It's just basically not eating. That's all it is. Yeah. So Berenice, you have a question? Let me unmute.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
So since this technically is my first week, I haven't fast. I was wondering, let's say I work out at 7 a.m. typically. What time should my first meal be?
Yeah, it's a great question. So you always want to ask yourself first is, what's your goal? Muscle gain or fat loss? And for everybody watching too, if you want to get definition, then that means fat loss is your goal. See, muscle gain is really if you want to get bigger. So if fat loss is your goal, then the act of fasting is more important than you eating before your workout or having a perfect post-workout meal. Because what's very important to know is that when you lift weight, because you're talking about your weightlifting workouts, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's say you lift weight, you do bicep curls at 8 a.m. Then it takes 24 hours for your body, for your biceps to recover and soak up all the protein and all that. So really, it doesn't matter that much whether you eat right away or you wait a couple hours. So it really doesn't matter. Like, just make it fit your schedule. Now, with that said, from my personal preference, in a perfect world, if you can eat right after your workout, have your first meal right after your workout, I just find that to be more sustainable because usually I'm very hungry after a workout, but that's just more personal preference. So. Yeah. What time do you usually work out right now?
7 in the morning.
Okay.
And then I typically do get hungry right away.
Yeah. And what time do you go to bed?
10.
10. So yeah, you work out at 7 in the morning, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Ideally, what time do you stop eating usually?
7, 8.
Yeah. So I always like to stop eating 3 hours before you go to bed. So I would have your last meal at 7.
Okay.
But with that said, your first meal is at 11.
Okay.
So let's say you work out at 7, you're done at 8, you go home. Then it's that period from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. that you have to fight through. Now, if you get those cravings and you get hunger, caffeine kills that. And actually, yeah, coffee and caffeine, that's what kills it. Because everything else, you have to eat 0 calories. You can't eat anything. So, but see that as an opportunity to build your willpower. Because if you're doing it, if you have that purpose in your head, like the reason why I'm doing this is because I want to lose fat, and I want to give myself a smaller eating window, and I can't wait for tonight because then I can eat big because I have, 2-3 meals and I have to hit, 1,700 calories. Then I'm going to get to enjoy it. But imagine you start eating right away and all your meals have to be small. Then it's like, you got to watch what you eat,
Okay.
So,
Okay.
Yeah. All right, cool. And Nicole, great question. Does chlorophyll have calories? Yes, it does. So when I take my chlorophyll, I always take it to break my fast. So yeah, you don't want to take chlorophyll during your fast. It does have calories. I think it's like 30 or something, and that's actually not even that much, but it has sugars. And the sugars will get you out of that fasting state. So, but again, guys, I'm just going to throw this out there. I'm probably saying this for the 10th time, but it's not a magic formula. It's just you're not eating. That's all it is. So again, if I have somebody not fasting and they're hitting their calories for 2 months, they're going to get amazing results versus somebody that's intermittent fasting, but they're not hitting their calories all the time. And they eat Portos on the weekend. So it's, it's all about consistency. Find whatever works for you. Yeah. All right, cool. Let me check Elizabeth. Will the Laird Superfood Original Creamer break my fast? I need my coffee in the AM. You know what, Elizabeth? That is a great question. And I'm going to look it up right now because I don't know. Laird Superfood Creamer is really good, by the way. If you're looking for a creamer, Laird Superfood, LAIRD. They now also have protein bars, by the way. I haven't tried them yet. I wouldn't take it, no, because it has coconut milk powder, organic coconut sugar, extra virgin coconut oil. 1 tablespoon is 45 calories, and it has 4 grams of carbs, 3 grams of sugar. So unfortunately, no. However, cinnamon, just put cinnamon in your coffee. Cinnamon also kills cravings. So unfortunately, Elizabeth, the answer is no. Computer says no, but Yeah, don't shoot the messenger. So yeah. Let's see. I'm gonna check Facebook real quick. Where's Facebook? Oh, I don't think Facebook ever went, actually. Let me refresh. Okay. No comments on Facebook. That's sad. All right, so oh, here's another question from Christine. If we do more light workouts and walking, not too much weightlifting, but stick to a caloric deficit, will we still get good results? Great question. I'm going to do an email and video on that. And the answer is yes. If you do more light workouts and walking, but stick to a caloric deficit, will we still get good results? The answer is yes. And why is the answer yes? I'm not going to give you the answer right away because I want you guys to think about this for like 10 seconds. If you do more light workouts and walking, not too much weightlifting, but stick to a caloric deficit, will we still get good results? The answer is yes, because the results come from your caloric deficit, results being fat loss. Now, with that said, you do want to lift weights minimum 2 times a week because that's going to boost your metabolism. And then that's going to burn more calories when you're at rest. And that's also going to improve your bone density, improve your immune system, build strength, make you feel good, release endorphins, build definition, give you that figure that you want, give you definition. So yeah. But anytime you're in a pickle or you have to choose between exercise and nutrition, and you're wondering, oh, exercise or nutrition, then it's always nutrition. It's always nutrition. Because if you can look good by working out, then everybody would look good already, because everybody's tried something at least. But that's not really working. So yeah. All right, guys, it's 6:31 already. These things fly by. But I'll give you guys like 10 seconds. If you have one more question, put it in the chat box below. Counting down very slowly. Other than that, I hope everybody's doing good. And if you're on vacation, enjoy your vacation. Remember, if you're going out of the country, out of America, don't worry about your food. It's probably going to be better than what you have here, especially if you go to Australia, Asia, Europe, Africa, South America, or Antarctica. And other than that, make sure you drink your water, enjoy your food. You can eat whatever you want as long as you eat your calories and your protein. And it's all about staying consistent because you're never going to stop, right? You're going to do this for the rest of your life. So with that said, thank you so much for tuning in, guys. Have an awesome Tuesday night. And I look forward to seeing you next week. All right, thank you. Thank you for joining in. We'll see you guys